You're over 40. You've got a job, maybe even a good one. But somewhere around 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, you look up from your desk and that thought crosses your mind that you wouldn't normally say out loud. Is this it? You see, the thing nobody's told you yet, the fact that you're over 40 isn't the problem. It's actually your unique advantage. And I'm going to prove it, okay? Because I know you've seen people building businesses online. You've thought about starting an online business after 40 yourself. Maybe even looked on YouTube and typed in YouTube for beginners over 40, 50, 60. You've watched the tutorials. You've even bookmarked the videos on how to start videos, and every time you sit down to actually begin, something stops you. Maybe it's that voice in your head that says, you're too late. Maybe it's the 25-year-old with the ring light telling you to post 6 times a day. The algorithm will reward you. Or maybe it's just the sheer weight of not knowing where the hell to start. Now, if any of that sounds familiar, you are in the right place. Because what I'm about to share with you doesn't just tell you what to do, it explains why everything that you've been told about making money online in your 40s is completely back to front. Last year, 287,000 people watched one single video that I made. No paid ads, no social media campaign, no dancing around, just a straightforward video about why coming to YouTube to be a YouTuber is the wrong move entirely. Now, I want to say that again for you because it really matters. 287,000 people found that video without me spending a single dollar to promote it. That one video brought in 7,700 new subscribers. And it wasn't luck. It was positioning. You see, that video didn't travel because it was clever. It traveled because it described what 287,000 people were already thinking. Exactly the way that you might have been thinking about 60 seconds ago. Now, let me tell you what nobody's telling you. Knowing that this works isn't the problem. The problem is what you've been told to do about it. And that's where it just all falls apart. So, as we get into it, let me tell you what I know about you. You've probably already tried the conventional advice. Post consistently, build a following, create a lead magnet. Is that one too? And it's not bad advice, just in the wrong order. Maybe you've even bought the course with 47 modules and just never finished it. That's quite standard. That's why you need a guide alongside you most of the time. Heck, you might have even started building your own course. Does that sound familiar? Didn't work, did it? And it's not because you're not capable. It's because that model was built for the 20 to 25-year-olds with 10 hours a day, nothing to lose and everything to prove. Now, if that's resonating, smash that like button and tell me your experience below. You see, you're not starting from zero. You're starting with 20 years of experience. I know you've got a mortgage, a family, probably a health condition or two, just like me, and a completely understandable intolerance for wasting your time on shit that just does not work. The hustle model breaks people like us. I'm a living example of it. And it doesn't break you because you're not too old. It's because you're too experienced to fake it. Too busy to grind it all out and too smart to believe someone half your age who's never even held down a real job knows more about building a sustainable business than you. Come on. That's not true. So here's exactly what works. Now, I'm going to show you 3 things. I call it the 3-stage YouTube business model. Most people will nod along and do nothing. The ones who don't, they're the ones who will make it because each stage has a very specific outcome, a specific time frame and real proof behind it. I call it AWAKEN POSITION Champion. And most people start in the middle and get it wrong because they miss the awakening phase. Now, this is not theory, okay? This is what I use. And it's what I use to help people over 40 build their online YouTube business in 100 days. Now, the average person over 40 is sitting on 20 years of experience that someone right now would pay serious money to access. Most of them will work another decade, collect a pension, retire, and with every single penny of that expertise untouched. And unfortunately, then you're going to die. This is the real financial loss that you will experience. Not the market, not the economy, the knowledge of yours, which is never monetized. So we're going to change that today. You see, most people start here by trying to figure out their ideal client. That's actually not where it starts. It's a good place, but it's not where it should start. It should actually start with you. What do you stand for? Not your job title, not your LinkedIn bio, your values, the things that fire you up, the things that make you angry, and the things that you'd fight for, even if nobody was watching. You see, most people have never sat down and worked out what their values actually are. They've got a vague sense of what matters to them, but they've never really named it. But here's why it matters. When your values are embedded into your content, they act like a signal, okay? Like a homing beacon. The right people feel it and you pull them towards you. They can't explain why they trust you. They just do. That's not marketing, my friends. That's alignment. So once you know your values, you run them through something I call your ikigai. Now, I did plan to have the book here and go, ikigai, but I'll pop something across the screen instead. Once you know your values, you're running through the 4-step process of ikigai, and from that come your content pillars, the things that you'll talk about, the topics you'll own, the stories that you'll tell, and every single one of them is rooted in who you actually are. Not what some course told you to niche into. And then, only then, do you define your ideal client. And here's the bit that makes this completely simple for you, and hopefully a bit of a mic drop moment. Your ideal client is a former version of you. Not a made up avatar, not a spreadsheet with demographics, a real person that you used to be at a specific point in your life because you've lived through it. You know the answers to the problems and they become your videos just like I'm doing right now. So let me ask you something. If you had to describe the version of yourself who needed your help the most, the version who was stuck, searching, quietly desperate for that guide, who is that person? Because that's who you're going to be making your YouTube videos for. Now let's talk about positioning, because this is where most people get it completely backwards. They build the audience first, then they try to figure out their offer, and that's kind of the wrong way around. There's value in building your audience. But you see, if you haven't done stage 1, you don't know your values, your content pillars, who you're actually going to be talking to, then the positioning on YouTube is just guesswork. And YouTube does not reward guesswork. The algorithm rewards clarity. It rewards specificity. I can never say that word. It rewards a channel that knows exactly who it's for and exactly what it delivers. When I went through this years ago, I thought I was, a business coach or what they call a life coach. That's what I wanted to be. My coach told me, you're not doing that. You see, it turns out I was something far more specific. The guy who helps people over 40, stuck in a day job, replace their income with a YouTube business in 100 days. It's specific, it's timely, you can't get it confused. That specificity, got it right this time, changed everything for me. Because you don't need 10,000 subscribers to replace your day job income. You need 2 to 5 clients a month. That's it. 2 to 5 people who will pay you for the specific transformation that you deliver. That's where it starts. But here's what happens when you get the positioning right and those clients start coming in. You build proof, real proof, and the proof opens doors that all this hustling just never will. Now, in summer of 2024, I started taking discovery calls with you fine people on YouTube. 80 people came through. And alongside that, I had a small course called Courage Before Confidence. It's $99, and it was selling around 3 to 4 a day, being referenced through my YouTube videos. Now, that's roughly about $297 a day, just ticking away in the background while I was still making videos and talking to clients. Conservatively, that's about $8,500 a month, okay? And then I did something with those 80 people that I spoke about a moment ago on Discovery Calls. I invited them back for a Heart Brand Blueprint call because initially it was still being built. The Discovery Calls were helping me learn about the audience, what they needed, and then I could deliver that. 41 booked, 40 people bought, 40 people. On the 3rd of December, 2024, we went live and we had $39,960 in sales. Now, if you keep hearing we, I run a family business. My family are involved in helping me to run and build this. And we didn't make 40 grand because we pitched it hard. It was because the positioning was so clear and those people already trusted me before I even spoke. Now, during that launch, I told the community something. I said I wanted to go from 8,500 subscribers to 10,000 subscribers by Christmas. Because you know what? People say that subscribers don't matter anymore in 2026. I think that's bullshit because your subscribers are your life to what you do. They show up for you. They're like family. So for people to make videos about them not mattering anymore, I think that's wrong. Just want to kind of cut that in there. Anyway, like I said, I wanted to go from 8,500 to 10,000. It was kind of a target that I had personally. That gave me 3 weeks, 21 days. So I did something that I teach in the blueprint. I wrote a love letter to my future self, describing the 10,000 subscribers as though it had already happened, speaking it into reality, if you will. I do a lot of this speaking into reality, and it's part of something I teach. Now, that might be a bit woo-woo for some of you, but here's what happened. I made one video with the intention that I just set. That video hit 287,000 views and brought in 7,700 new subscribers. Now, I don't talk about this to brag. I talk about this because I genuinely believe I manifested that growth. Whether you call it alignment, conscious creation, or just bloody minded clarity, it worked. And it all started with positioning. 2 to 5 clients a month. That was the seed. Everything else grew from that. So I would like you to ask yourself this, whether you've got a channel or you're still thinking about starting one, if someone landed on your channel tomorrow, would they know in 5 seconds who you help, what you help them do, and why you're the one to listen to? And if you haven't started yet, could you even answer that question right now? Because once you can, everything else gets easier. Now, let's look at championing phase. This is your unfair advantage, and almost nobody is talking about it. You see, every piece of YouTube advice that you've ever consumed assumes that you are starting from scratch. No audience, no credibility, no story. But you're not starting from scratch. You know, you're starting from 20, 30, hell, even 40 years of lived experience. Your stories are more credible. Your empathy is more real. Your authority is already earned. You just haven't put it on camera yet. As you might know, I was a police officer for 10 years, but I didn't build an online business around policing. I used what policing gave me, 10 years of solving problems in the moment, reading people, making decisions under pressure, thinking on my feet. That's what entrepreneurs do. They solve problems. And I've been doing it every single day without even realizing that it was a transferable skill. And here's something I'll tell you that I don't talk too often about. You ready? I was diagnosed with ADHD this year, at the age of 49. But that chaotic brain, the one that jumps between ideas, moves fast and can't sit still, well, turns out that's an asset. And I put this in the video because there might be some people out there watching this who are in that position. Now, if you're a little bit neurospicy, you already know what I mean. You can move quickly, you can action quickly, and couple that with decades of lived experience, you are not behind. You're starting from a massive head start. You see, the 25-year-old has to manufacture its credibility. You already have it. You've lived it. They're teaching from a book. You're teaching from life. So let me ask you this, my friend. What is the one skill, the one thing you spent years getting really good at that you've never once thought of as a business? Because I promise you, that's where it starts. Now, contrary to popular belief, YouTube is not the goal. It's the gateway. The goal is a business that gives you your time and your life and freedom back, that replaces your income, that lets you do the work that you were actually meant to do on your terms for the people who need exactly what you've got. Now, the system, it only works if you know what experience you're actually sitting on and how to turn it into content that pays you. That's exactly why I made this video next. It breaks it all down for you.